All right, all right, all right. We got our YouTube stream going. Hopefully, wait, nope, I don't have the mic connected because I had to shift. Mic is far away. Hello, hello. All right, all right. You got the mic connected. Is it good there? Good there? How about here? How about here? We'll put it right there. All right. Hopefully that works. Now we got to get the TikTok up. Always something here. So, here we go. No, go live. Go boom. That is there. All right, all right, all right. Here we are at the Mindfulness Power Hour, or as I've been liking to start calling the Mindfulness Amateur Hour, as I continue to work on figuring out how to live stream both on YouTube and the Tiki of Talks, how to work on my presentation as a presenter and try to make this as effective and enjoyable for all parties involved. I wanted to make sure it is both entertaining and educational. Right, that I think that is definitely a real challenge here. While we also maintain the focus on our mental health, right, on that mindfulness, right, the whole reason why we're here, right. It is definitely an exciting time to be alive, right. It is a very interesting world out there where we really need as much mindfulness and mental health as we can get. That's where I decided to start holding this power hour to challenge people to take an hour for themselves, to let a time out on the daily world and all the stressors and all the strife out there and show up for themselves and take that time in to invest in themselves, to put their mental health and their priorities front and center, right? Because that's not an easy thing to do in our world. We have a lot of demands on our time, a lot of needs that need to be met, right? It can be really hard to get them all met. That is for sure, right? That is for sure. But we can try, right? We don't have to throw in the towel and just give up. We can try to fight back. We can try to do something about it. And that's what we're here for tonight, is to take a moment to focus in on our mindfulness, to talk about our self-care, to identify what we're grateful for, to maybe learn a new coping skill, to maybe strengthen a new coping skill. So for those that are just joining us, hi, my name is Mr. Ryan. I am the Yinzer therapist. I am a licensed professional counselor at LPC. I am a certified grief and trauma therapist who specializes in working with teenagers and young adults. I consider myself a very action-oriented therapist where I work really hard to challenge my clients to do something about their lots in life, to, make an investment in their self-care and work hard to take an active role in solving their problems in their existence in life, right? Today is yet another one of these mindfulness power hours where we've ended up being at my home in my wife's craft room. We had a cancellation, this and that. The schedule changed. So instead of sitting at my office and worrying and stressing about this hour and what we're going to do, I booked it home and got here and got set up. And as soon as I got in the door, we went ahead and made it a thing, right? So you may see me eating some awesome Welch's fruit snacks. You may see me drinking some of my awesome Diet Pepsi here, trying to make sure I stay as hydrated and well off as I can to make it through the Mindfulness Power Hour, or as I've been liking to call it, the Mindfulness Amateur Hour, as I continue to work on figuring out how to present and lead and teach people the joys of meditation and the powerfulness of mindfulness. Uh, so, with that said, I'm going to eat a couple of these because I did not get a chance to eat any dinner yet. And that sucks because food, right, is an important part of self-care. Taking care of ourselves through nutrition and eating right is definitely an important part of that self-care. And the way my schedule works, sometimes that part of things is a little slack-a-lacking. That's why, as we're getting going here, waiting for some people to funnel in and find their way to this awesome live stream, or maybe you find this on the replay, right? Because there's definitely a replay available on my YouTube channel. Use Your Therapist 37. You know. All right. I can usually just dump on. Oh. Some of these concepts in this live will filter to protect the community's experience. Man, I wonder how I figure out how to check that and see what that kind of comment was. All right, so one of the things we want to work on that I'm really trying to get started is figuring out the first few minutes of this power hour. How do we want to kick things off? How do we want to get this thing started? Right. So I think a good part of that is working to set our intention, working to try to identify what it is that we want to get out of this hour, what it is that we want to learn and gain. Um, are there any specific mental health topics that we want to learn more about? Are there techniques that we heard about or learned about that maybe we want more information about? That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to stream these things live, is to give you guys, the clients out there, an opportunity to check in, to comment, to share, to say, hey, I want to learn about this. Hey, I want to learn about that. Hey, say, time out. Can you stop and explain that point in greater detail? And we can do that on the replays as well, right? Whether you join here live or not. So as we're trying to set that intention, as we're trying to figure out what it is that we want to get out of this hour and get started, I really want to work to start off the hour with a very simple breathing exercise. I want to take 10 deep breaths, and I would like to, as we kind of do that, I really want to lead with the mantra: in with the good shit, out with the bullshit. Okay. And we're going to work to do that 10 times. I'm going to try to count them on my hands, and we're going to work to keep count. With my wonderful ADHD brain, sometimes keeping count can be a little challenge. So I apologize if we don't quite hit 10, or maybe we do 11. But we're going to try to hit 10 right on the nose if we can. Okay. So again, as we're breathing in and breathing out, right, on that inhale, please think in with the good shit. And as we exhale, out with the bullshit, right? So we're going to do that 10 times, all right? In with the good shit. Out with the bullshit. In with the good shit. Out with the bullshit. In with the good shit. Out with the bullshit. In with that good shit. Out with the bullshit. In with the good shit. Out with the bullshit. In with the good shit. Out with the bullshit. In with the good shit. Out with the bullshit. In with the good shit. Out with the bullshit. One more. Let's make a big deep one. All right, good one. In with the good stuff. Out with the bullshit. All right. I don't know about you guys, if you joined in or not, but I feel a whole lot more relaxed. And it's definitely been a little bit of chaotic last hour for me getting here and getting set up and getting ready to go. So I definitely feel a lot more relaxed after just 10 deep breaths there. And I always love that mantra: in with the good shit, out with the bullshit. I think it's a very powerful, simple mantra. Well, unlike the last time I ended up making it audible and having to do this from home, I remember my cheat sheet. I remember the game plan and the outline of what I wanted to do. I got it all written down here, old school style on a piece of paper. So we're going to set that up right there. Try to remind me exactly the kind of flow of what I kind of outlined for today. I already did my intro. I already did the grounding exercise, right? That simple 10 breathing count, in with the good shit, out with the bullshit, right? Kind of setting that intention and working to identify what we want to get out of this practice today. I know what I want to get out of this practice is just more repetitions, more practice, continuing to gain that confidence on being a presenter, and teaching people on how to meditate, on how to take those deep breaths, right? On getting more comfortable putting myself in front of the camera. Um, so, as we continue to work on what you might call the different segments of this kind of programming, one of the things I really want to make sure that we're working on is that self-care check-in at the beginning of these hours, right? I want us to all be able to look in the mirror and really reflect on, what investments did we make in ourselves this week? What good things, what good shit have we been up to? What good investments have we made in ourselves, right? I think that's a really important question and something we definitely want to make sure we're looking at, right? It's an important thing. Um, so for me and my self-care, I got all 4 days. Oh, nope, my cheat sheet fell. I guess we can't put it there because of the fan. So I got all 4 days of my workout program in. For those who are unfamiliar, I use the app Stronger by the Day. It's a powerlifting program, right? Lifting those heavy weights. I found somehow in my late 30s that powerlifting is a lot of fun, and it is very, very enjoyable, and I have a lot of fun doing it. It is definitely a blast. It really is. So there's an express workout program, and part of there's a lot of different options, but I do the 4-day express. So a little under an hour, 4 days a week. I try to get a workout in. I will admit I cheated a little bit last week, and I did 2 days in one day. But hey, still got my 4 days in. So far this week, I got 2 of the 4 days in. So hoping to get that, continue to move forward and get all 4 days in. So my physical activity level, right, a very good, important part of my self-care. Hopefully you guys out there in the internet land, whether you're watching this live or on replay, are able to find that moment to invest in your physical activity, your self-care as well. But self-care isn't just physical activity, right? There's lots of different variations of the self-care. Uh, One of the kinds of self-care that I really wanted to talk about tonight was one of my favorites, which you'll probably hear me talk often about in here, is my love for live music, right? Live music for me is definitely a big part of my self-care. It's one of those big things that I work for, and it's how I get a time out and really get to enjoy a break and get the brain space to quiet. One of the latest forms of musical self-care for me is I went down to Thomas, West Virginia, to a venue called the Purple Fiddle. If you guys have not heard of the Purple Fiddle, if you've never visited Thomas, West Virginia, or really anywhere in West Virginia, I highly encourage you to check it out. Thomas, West Virginia, and its counterpart, Davis, West Virginia, have really become this kind of little art mecca in the middle of the countryside. The Purple Fiddle, especially, has just amazing bands and amazing talent year round. It is just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful spot. And me and my buddy drove down to see Afro Man, right? Afro Man. You guys remember him? Because I got high, because I got high, because I got high, right? It was just an incredible show. It was so much fun. Just an amazing stage presence, right? He had a weed leaf guitar that he actually played and soloed on, and like soloed good. Like he could play. The man's got some chops. He showed off his dance moves. He told jokes. He played all the favorite songs, all the hits, plus some new stuff, right? It was just a phenomenal concert from top to bottom. The Purple Fiddle has food, drinks, and ice cream. I ordered their grilled cheese. That was phenomenal. I did get one of their, it was a peanut butter fudge waffle cone. Oh, that was phenomenal. It was so good. It was a really, really good a really good concert experience. The weather was a little iffy. It did not quite work out weather-wise. It was a little chilly, a little rainy, so I definitely didn't get the walking and the biking and the hiking in that I had originally planned and hoped. But we still made a point to get to Blackwater Falls. It was a 15-minute drive for the hotel we stayed in at. And because of all the rain, because of all that Mother Nature going on, that waterfall was a raging. I did actually take some footage of some things. I don't think I've posted anything yet to any of my socials, so make sure you look out for that coming up. Because the waterfall was definitely very, very impressive that day. Lots of water following over it, lots of loud. It was really, really cool. There's something like some 200 steps from the top to the bottom down to the falls. It was definitely very enjoyable. So it's just a very good self-care moment. Short little road trip with my buddy. Good time in the car with him. Good time at the show with Afro Man. Good time at the Purple Fiddle. Great time checking out the waterfall, Blackwater Falls. Just a very good self-care moment. Um, and really kind of the kickoff of summer for me in the concert calendar. Uh, we are 2 weeks away from me taking my two youngest to go see Goose in Cleveland, honk honk. That means we're like 3 weeks away from the Pittsburgh Fish Show, right? That's going to be a blast. Then we got early July, we got Fish in Columbus, right? And then the week after that, I got Fish in the Man Center out in Philly. We got July 4th and all of that. I think Dawn of the Buffaloes playing up in Katanning on June 28th. Going to try to see if we can somehow fit in the Big Butler Fair. So lots of awesome, good music coming up for sure. But as I keep saying, self-care has a lot of different flavors. So while maybe last weekend and some future weekends are concert oriented, this weekend I have a little bit of a different flair to my self-care because on Saturday I'm taking a double date with my brother and sister-in-law and my wife. We're going to go see the classic Dogma. If you haven't heard, Dogma is out in theaters for a very limited run, celebrating its 25th anniversary. So we got tickets to go see it down at the AMC Theater on the waterfront. We're going to work on adding in some dinner plans beforehand. So getting some grub action on, seeing one of my favorite films of all time, seeing it with some of my favorite people of all time, right? That is some awesome self-care. And then on Sunday, me and my wife are going to go check out this South Side House and Garden tour. I'm not exactly sure about all the finer details. Life's a little busy, so I haven't really got a chance to look into it. But if it's anything like the fancy house tour me and her went on around Christmas time on the north side, I'm in for a real treat of seeing how maybe what you might consider the other half lives, and really getting to see some nice properties, nice gardens, and just people taking care of their properties and things like that. So really beautiful spaces, right? So really, really, really excited for what's coming up for this weekend, right? Getting to see Dogma, going on the house tour, and almost forgot in terms of self-care action, right? I got to spend time with my kids yesterday. Over the summer, I usually try to take Wednesdays off so I can be home to hang out with them and do fun things. So yesterday, our first Wednesday of the summer, we went to Kennywood. If you're not from the Pittsburgh area, that is our local amusement park. And it is always a blast going to an amusement park, especially as a therapist, because it is all about challenging your fears, challenging your anxieties, right? Do you believe in the safety harnesses, right? Are they going to keep you safe? Did they test the track, right? Is the train going to stay on the track and not fly off, right? So I have so much fun going to an amusement park. And there's the people watching aspect, right? Always so much fun watching people at an amusement park, and especially right now is my old age and how much my footwear matters and my comfort of my feet matter. Um, Seeing what people choose to wear when they're at an amusement park like that, right? It could definitely be and a very interesting experience to see some of the footwear decisions people make when they go to an amusement park, especially on a very 80-degree hot day, right? I brought 3 different pairs of shoes with me: my Birks, which I wore, a pair of tennies to switch into if I needed to, and my water sandals for the water rides. So with all that said, that is what Mr. Ryan's self-care is looking like a lot lately. Physical activity with the weightlifting, meditations every morning to start my day, concerts galore, spending time with my family, going to see good movies, going to amusement parks, hanging out with my wife and going on house tours. When you're in a position like I am as a therapist, especially as a grief and trauma therapist, right? Having a lot of that grief and trauma, that pain and misery around you, you need that kind of self-care, right? You need that self-care. You need to really protect yourself and insulate yourself as much as you can. So as you guys see, as we're talking today, lots of self-care going on, right? Lots of investments in myself. And that's why I'm able to stay on top of my game and work so hard and help so many people, and hopefully not burn out and continue to help more and more people, right? And again, that's what we're doing here with this Mindfulness Power Hour, is trying to help more and more people, trying to spread that mental health awareness and teach more and more people about the mindfulness, about the coping skills, about all the different and various ways they can work hard to take better care of themselves, right? Because we need more healing in this world, right? We need more mental health support. We need more mental health resources in this world. So I'm really hoping that these streams, the replays, this constant attention and promotion and posting and discussions and talking of all things mental health related can really help push that agenda further along. And hopefully it helps one of you people out there get some sort of help, some sort of relief, some sort of benefit. So I think that kind of wraps up the self-care segment of today's Power Hour. I definitely felt like I went on a long rant there. Who knows how enjoyable that was for any of you guys out there. I don't really see any comments on the YouTube thing, or if there is any comments on the TikToky thing, I haven't figured out how to find that yet. Maybe one day I'll figure out how to do all that and see where the comments are. But we'll go there. I don't know. Maybe nobody's commenting, and that's why I can't see anything. I just see that people are joining and leaving. I don't know. We're figuring out the TikTok stuff. I am an old fuddy-duddy in a lot of ways when it comes to the internet. I might have grown up with it, but it's definitely passed me by. So we're working hard to stay cool and stay hip and stay fresh, and just try to bring the information to the people, right? Meet people where they're at. And if TikTok is the way it's going, if that's the best platform I got to spread that mental health awareness and get people engaged and talking about mental health and focusing on their mental health, then so be it. Let's make it work. I just like the YouTube for sure, especially because I can record it and make the replays available for everybody at a later date if we don't have any technical issues with the sounds and the recording and things like that, because that's definitely been an issue with this Mr. Microphone here. So we'll see if that's working well. Again, this is the Mindfulness Power, but right now it might be more of the Mindfulness Amateur Hour as we're working to get the sound and the production value and everything like that figured out and worked on, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's a one-man show over here, a one-man operation. Earlier we started about intent, what we're trying to get out of this. And I guess one of the things that I'm trying to get out of this is trying to find myself a co-host, trying to find myself a production team. It definitely is, takes teamwork to make the dream work. So if I could find more able-bodied, intelligent, wonderful, productive, talented people to work with me on this project, I think that would definitely help give this thing some more legs. But until then, it's the one-man show, right? And we're just going to keep making it work. We're going to do the best we can to be as successful as we can and have as much fun as we can. But at least, do what we can here. So we've talked about self-care, all the different ways we can make those investments in ourselves. We started off the Power Hour doing a 10-count breathing exercise, right? breathe in the good shit, breathe out the bullshit. I think the next thing that we want to do before we get into the next coping skill demonstration, which we are going to do some brain humming tonight, is, really checking in about that gratitude, right? Taking a moment to recognize what is going well in our life, what is going good for us, what is the positives in our experience right now. I find too often in life, we're really apt to talk about the bad, the things that aren't going well, the things that aren't doing good, the things that aren't working out, right? Uh, and because we speak and spend so much time focusing on the bad, it doesn't quite work out so well, right? We end up focusing on just the bad, and none of the good, right? And that's not good, right? We don't want that. We got to take some time to focus on the good. So this is where I'm trying to make sure I finish my gummies here, because I have a feeling this is a part of the show that's going to get a little emotional. Uh, so we talked about that self-care and how I've been working so hard with the working out and getting healthier and making those investments in myself. So what I wanted to share tonight that I'm grateful for and I'm really excited and proud of is that I'm getting it. And when I say that I'm getting it, I mean, the importance of making those investments, those importance of helping myself out and doing good things here. Um, Yesterday when I was at Kennywood, amusement parks is a big guy. Sometimes you can't ride everything. Sometimes your kids ask you to ride things, and as much as you would love to, you can't because you just can't fit. You're just too fucking fat, right? And that's happened before. It's happened with my own wife, where I was asked to leave a ride that I used to be able to ride comfortably with no problems, and I could no longer ride it. Uh, so, I'm really grateful that I've been getting it and I've been working so hard and doing so much better and eating right and exercising right. Because yesterday I rode one of the rides at Kennywood. You might not be familiar with it, but it's the kangaroo. So it's, a thing over the lap. You go run around and go up and down. It's a little kid ride. You balance. It's freaking great. It has always been a challenge with the way the restraint is with my belly. There's definitely been some years where the bar didn't want to close and it was really painful to ride. That was not the case yesterday. The case yesterday was that bar slammed shut, easy as pie. There was nothing in the way. There was no struggle. There was no problems. There was no issues. It just shut, and we were able to ride. I wasn't in any discomfort. I wasn't in any pain. It just worked. Um, and it literally brought me to tears, and it's bringing me to tears now. Um, because I did that. I've been working at that. I've been breaking my butt and trying so hard to lose weight and get in better shape, um, and be healthier. And to see it pay off like that, to be able to enjoy a ride like that with my daughter, to be able to be on my feet and walking around Kennywood for hours upon hours in 80-degree heat. Um, I'm very grateful for that. I am very, very grateful for that opportunity. It was definitely a very, very awesome day. So I am very grateful that I am able to put in the work, put in the effort, and enjoy something like that. So what are you guys grateful for? What is going well in your life? What is working for you? What are those positive aspects? Um, if you're watching this live with me, please comment, let me know. If you're watching on the replay, please comment and let me know. Again, I want to build an online community where we're talking about these things. We're talking about our self-care routines. We're talking about what we're grateful for. We want to be as engaged and interactive as we can get, right? It's more fun when it's more than one, right? We want to normalize these kinds of conversations as much as we can. Right. So please let me know what you're grateful for, what your self care is looking like. Um, especially as we work to shift gears here for a little bit. All right. I still think that this thing is not working well for the online stream with the YouTube. I feel like it's still not where it needs to be in terms of volume control and things like that. So I see a lot of other content creators and that just kind of holding it in front of them. And that may be how they get their good volume. We'll have to check and see what the TikTok stream looks like on there. Nobody's complaining, but nobody's really joining and staying. So we'll work in progress. Work in progress. That is why this is the amateur hour of the Mindfulness Power Hour. Hopefully, we look back on these early streams and kind of laugh and giggle about what it used to be and what it used to look like. See it and all that. All right. So, with that said, would it work better if I put it right here, you wonder? I don't know. We'll try right there for the last half because we are about a half hour in. This is going to be an hour-ish today. Life has definitely been lifey as a therapist. The world has been definitely worldy out there. People have been peoply. I know I'm definitely running out of steam, but I keep making a promise to you guys that I'm going to show up and do this, so I am. I know that for the content creators that I enjoy on Instagram and that, they talk a lot about doing things imperfectly and pushing through that fear, and showing up and making the post and sharing the reel and being that authentic, genuine version of yourself no matter what. And it's that version that will sell and get the clicks and get the likes and take off from there. So that's one of the reasons why, as much as it isn't going according to plan sometimes and things aren't always working out, that I work so hard to keep showing up here. And I hope each week it gets a little better. We figure some more things out. We nail down more of the production value with the sound quality and the picture quality. I get more of the itinerary and the game plan figured out in terms of what we're going to do, how we're going to spend this hour together. Hopefully that all, we just keep getting better each and every week we come here, right? So as we're working to wind down today's Power Hour, one of the last thing that I want to leave you guys with is a brain humming exercise. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check out any of my videos or anything like that on any of my socials, brain humming is the auditory stimulation of our vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the nerve that connects the back of the brain to the stomach to the back of the brain. It's part of that parasympathetic nervous system. So the butterflies you get in your stomach, the pit of despair, right? The tightness in your chest, right? All of that is your parasympathetic nervous system. So what we've found is by using the power of our own voice, right, with some simple with some simple brain humming, that we can unlock that vagus nerve. We can stimulate the fuck out of that nerve, and we can flood our bodies and our brain with all those happy ass brain chemicals, right? We can flood the brain with the dopamine, the serotonin, the acetylcholine, the nitric oxide, right? All that good shit. And it also helps flush all the excuse me, wow, maybe I shouldn't drink Diet Pepsi while we're doing this. Maybe that's one of the things we learned today. Drink water so there's no burping. But we then, we've learned too that helps flush the body full, get all those toxic stress chemicals out as well, right? So brain humming is a very powerful coping skill, very mighty coping skill that I think can really, really benefit people. It's one of my favorite coping skills to teach people. I think it's very accessible. It's very useful. It's one of the things that I want to go around to different workshops and retreats and things like that and demonstrate live in the flesh with people because I believe in it so very much. So what we're going to do today is not a full body sequence where we're going to separate each one of the sounds out. What we're going to do is we're going to do 6 of the 7 sounds, but we're going to combine them into pairs of 2. So it's going to be 2 sounds, 2 sounds, 2 sounds, right? We're going to do each one of the sound groupings 3 times. So it's going to be 3, 3, and 3. So it's going to be 9 different things, right? And we're going to kind of combine one of the upper energy points and sounds with one of the lower ones. I like to kind of combine the 2 of these like that. So when I'm in between sessions, it becomes real easy to get that quick fix, that quick hitter, that quick pick me up, to kind of really get back in the game and readjust my headspace, right? I think that's why this is an effective one to work and teach you guys in this kind of format, because hopefully you can kind of do the same, right? And this might be one that we revisit before, we do again. Again, I really, really like the brain humming. So the first one that we're going to do is going to be E and O plus the okay? And this is going to help us with the top of our head and our solar plexus, right? So we're going to be loosening up our brain space up here, loosening up our chest area here by going E, O, and we're going to do that 3 times. This first one here is just going to be the demonstration, though, okay? So it's going to sound like this. E, O, all right? So here we go. Big breath in. E, O, again. E, O, one more time. E, O, breathe in. And I forgot to stress when we got started here. Please don't try to match my tone, my pitch, my length. We're really just focused on getting the vibrations going. If you have a mouth and it works, you can get something out of this exercise, right? So just try your best, give it what you can. It's okay if it isn't as smooth or as long and all that. Remember, I do a lot of these. I work on a lot of this with a lot of different clients. This, in a way, should be much easier for me, right? So the next one we're going to do here is A plus ooh and right? And this one is going to help us with our forehead and then our navel area, okay? So again, we're going to work to kind of unlock the upper energy points with a lower energy point. So again, we're going to do 3 of these, but we're going to do 3 of these, and this first one here is just a demonstration, okay? So again, it's going to kind of sound like this. Okay, so again, give it your all. Let's do what we can here. Give it your best. Last one. All right, big breath in. This is getting hard because my allergies have my nose all stuffed up and I don't have any tissues or anything in here. So life is life, and man, I guess you could say allergies are allergen. Oh man, okay, but we're almost done here. We're getting to the end of our power hour, our mindfulness amateur hour, as I like to call it, as we're continuing to figure all this fun stuff out. I know I'm definitely having a good time. Hope somebody out there, whether it's on live or on a replay, is enjoying themselves as well. This is going to be our final sound sequence of the brain humming demonstration for tonight. This one is going to be focusing on our throat and then the top of our hips and the bottom of our torso area. It's going to be I plus and then the at the end. Okay, here we go. Last one. All right. Let's just take a moment. If you were doing those exercises, hopefully with me, hopefully you enjoyed them. I'm going to take a moment just to kind of reflect and see how it feels. I know inside my brain, I feel a little tingly, way more relaxed than when I started. It might also be because we are to the end here and wrapping this up. This was definitely another shit show of a power hour. It's definitely living up to the title, the Mindfulness Amateur Hour. As I continue to work to figure out the kinks and the hijinks here. But we continue to show up on the second and fourth Thursday every month. We continue to kick it and really focus in on that mindfulness. I know there was definitely things that I didn't get to, that I didn't mention, that I didn't talk about, things that I didn't do with all the changing, all the chaos that was going on before we got here. But we did it. We showed up. We did a thing. We still had the power hour. We still focused on our mindfulness. We still challenged everybody to talk about their mental health and make those investments in themselves, right? So we're still doing something. And that's the trick right here, right now, really, is to embrace that idea of doing things imperfectly, to continue to get the reps in and get the practice in, and hope every time I log on and do one of these power hours that it's better than the last one, and it's better than the last one, and the next one will be even better. Great. So we'll just keep trucking away. We'll just keep keeping on with it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for showing up live. So much for tuning in and checking out the replay on the YouTube, right? Yinzer Therapist 37. I really appreciate all yins guys. Take care of yourself. Invest in your mental health because yins are worth it. Peace. Oh, that was fun. And now.